Welcome to the Made to Maximize podcast, where we exist to help business owners, coaches, consultants, and leaders maximize their current potential and get them to their next best place. My name is Kiara.
And I'm Jerred. And we are the co-owners of Made to Maximize, which is a consulting firm and marketing agency. We'll tell you a little bit more about that along the way.
Absolutely. So, y'all, we are in a brand new series in honor of April being Financial Literacy Month.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that for a number of reasons. One, because we like to talk about money. We don't shy away from that. And I was recently certified as a financial social worker. So It's just a beautiful month in time. And we have a brand new series. And that series is called, drumroll please, Money on the Table.
Yes. Now, we're going to help y'all get the money off the table. But before we slide through this topic for the day, don't slide by what you just had to say.
Okay.
You just said you are a what?
Certified financial social worker.
Okay. Tell us more about that.
I think we talked about this in the first episode, but we talked about my journey into social work. Originally, I was thinking about being in psychology, but landed in social work, and it was beautiful. Had a great time working with children and families, and we transitioned over into marketing and being business owners and business consultants. Throughout that journey, I just really miss social work. I've been working in ministry. I've been doing a lot of different things. I've had a lot of pivots in my career, but when I found out about this certification, I'm like, whoa, financial social workers exist to help individuals build their relationship with their money, a healthy relationship with their money. And I'm like, that's perfect, because I feel like so many business owners have this stopgap, especially when you're solopreneurs and you're a founder and you're now having to create your own wealth for yourself for the first time. You're not depending on a job to do that or a 9-to-5. You're doing it yourself. And you really come to grips with how you relate to money, how you believe that you can make it, your wealth cap, and all those different things. And so, I realized that this would be beautiful. Yeah. A beautiful addition to my career.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm so proud of you because, one, not only are you excellent at anything that you decide to do, the fact that this is diving into something that you thought you would have to leave, right? You're going back to another form of social work with this financial acumen that you already have, but then actually getting additional credentials about that. Because we've always talked about the biopsychosocial, and all the different things, but having the financial lens on how somebody can or can't relate to money, or how they were introduced to it and their upbringing, how that shapes how they interact with it. Because we see often somebody makes their first 6 figures, and the first thing that they go buy is what? Some Jordans. It's like, what? How did you like that? Why is that the first thing that you bought? Or, hey, you made your first $1 million. The first thing that you bought was what? A watch. Why was that the first thing that you bought?
Yeah. I think that's a fun question, though.
Yes.
If you are a business owner and you're thinking about when you made your largest check, it could have been $1,000 check, of $5,000, $10,000, $100,000.
Well, let's talk about
check.
the real ones. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, depending on where you are, I know many different people listen to us from different stages in their business. But when you got what you thought at the time was your big check, what was the first thing you purchased?
Yes, put
we
that
want to
in the
know
chat.
below. Yes, absolutely.
And to that point, when you have that situation, it's like, hey, you make your first $1 million or you make your first $100,000, whatever case may be. If you bought a $350,000 watch, why was that the first thing you bought? Why?
And we explore that in financial social work.
So associating how you lean into money, how you use money as a tool, how you relate to it, or how you feel like it relates to you, the access you feel you have to capital or whatever you're going to do with it. All those elements really make a difference. So financial social work has kind of opened our eyes to another perspective from a clinical lens, because we had the perspective, but now this just puts some verbiage behind that, some nomenclature.
I love that. Some language. And honestly, I feel like this episode is kind of taking a shift, because when we think about money on the table, you have to even think about why is the money on the table? Why haven't you touched the money? All the different things. And that really starts with your mindset and how you relate to money. And so maybe we won't pivot. Maybe we will. But maybe we could talk a little bit about when we realized we left money on the table. And honestly, as you were talking, I was thinking about how I feel like just being a business owner is saying, hey, I am willing to see that there is wealth potential on the inside of me. And I'm not just going to leave my wealth generating energy for a 9-to-5. I'm going to use it to build something and serve other people, and also build my wealth and my
Right.
income in multiple streams. I remember when we really came into the knowledge of multiple streams of income. Like that was such a phrase back in, I don't know, the 2010s or whatever. So, and in the ministry that we're a part of, we really dive deep. Dang, I forgot what scripture. Maybe it's in Ecclesiastes. Okay, talk about that scripture because I'm sure you know what I'm
Yes,
talking about.
cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days it will return. And then there's another section where it's talking about lending and different things. But with you casting your bread upon the waters, and we can pull it up and put it on the screen if we need to. But basically, it's like, hey, invest in 7 areas, yay, even 8, because you don't know which one of those investments is going to win. It could be the first one, it could be the second one, or all of them can prosper. But don't be sparing in your multiple streams of investments, because like you could really take all of them. So for us, for an example, if we're looking at 7 investment streams, 8 investment streams, that's cool. And all of them can do well, or one of them can do well. But if we only did one and that one is the one that failed, you have 7 or 8 other opportunities that you could have leveraged, which is again, money on the table. Now, if you want to go directly into it, I got some stuff I want to talk about when it comes to money on the table, but I'm going to keep my cool.
No, I feel like we should flow because, you know, there's a scripture that says in Proverbs 16:3, commit your plan unto the Lord and he'll establish your thoughts in it. And that is one of my favorite scriptures because it's like you make a plan, but then when you start flowing and Holy Spirit is flowing through you or whatever, he starts to pivot and I'm down for the pivot.
Okay.
So what you got?
So one of the things I want to kind of just throw out here, of course, we're going to talk about money on the table, and that has a bunch of different angles and lenses. But one perspective that a lot of people say is don't leave any money left on the table, which is true. There's a reason and there's a time for that. But there's also strategically how we've learned to leave money on the table for certain occasions. Sometimes I leave money on the table to make sure our team has profit too. Sometimes I leave the money on the table to say, hey, y'all, there's more here for us to share. So there's certain situations where you do want to leave money on the table. But outside of those, which we'll have to explore in a separate episode, because this is not what today's topic.
Let's talk about it because now I'm thinking about it. In financial social work, one of the biggest takeaways I got is that there are so many things you can do with money. And it's not just spending it.
Right.
And so some people are natural spenders. Some people are natural savers. Some people are natural investors. Some people are natural givers. And so depending on your relationship with money, starting from your childhood determines how you kind of manage your money now.
Right.
And I think that kind of goes into if you're a natural giver, which you are, you naturally think about money being on the table for the team.
Yeah.
But if I'm a natural spender, an investor, I'm thinking about, okay, what new tool, and not in a bad way. I mean, this is also investing in a different way, but what new tool or system can we invest in for our business to maximize, to grow? How can we spend these things to multiply it and make us better or get us new equipment that will elevate the quality of what we're doing? So what?
That's number 2 for you. Number 1 is shopping. She be going out buying stuff.
I was talking about business first.
Yes.
I do like to shop.
Yes.
And I enjoy spending money.
Yes. I'm like, girl, why? It was nice.
But financial social work has allowed me to develop my relationship with my money. And I've never been like a frivolous, like spend all my money. I never had a shopping addiction. Okay, this isn't about me. But at the end of the day... At the end of the day, there are multiple things that you can do with money. And as Jerred shared, one of the things is leaving money on the table so that you can create more wealth opportunities for the people on your team. And I think that is a beautiful thing. And he's always trying to advocate for that.
So let me also lean into this because just because we used a biblical reference earlier, I'll do another one now. If you think of the story of Ruth and Boaz, right? Ruth and Boaz, they met through these series of events. But if you look at the narrative of what Boaz was doing, instead of taking all the grapes, all the harvest, he left some of the periphery of the lot or the fringes of the edge of his property available with harvest on it. So people could take that couldn't afford to get something so that they can glean from the money on the table. He could have took that to the market and sold it, but he was like, you know what? I don't have to sell everything. I don't have to monetize everything. I can make margin for people that are building their business, building their brand, building their bank account, whatever the case may be. I can have margin for them that are getting themselves together to make money too, or to eat, right? Like we say, let them eat. So with this, he literally had in his heart, I'm not going to take it all for myself. I'm going to leave a margin on the table so people can make a living. And in that, he found a wife.
Come on now.
Huh? That generosity, not only, well, I'm going to leave that alone because I'm about to go somewhere else.
Go there.
But that generosity made ways for him to not only change his life naturally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, all the different things, because that new connection in his wife was found through his generosity. And even if you think about our story, it's like a lot of that initial phase of our story was generosity. I ain't had to say nothing to you, do nothing for you, none of this stuff. And you was out here throwing them bowls. I was like,
it's
girl.
crazy. Was I throwing bowls?
Was you?
I wasn't.
Well, we got video footage of you. You remember that TC video that you did with busting the bottle on the head? I'm gonna take that clip and I'm gonna put it back.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with 2013. Yes, I know that was
acting. I was acting. But saying all this to say, that generosity literally changed his life.
Yeah.
So I think that there is a time to leave money on the table, and we'll talk about that another time. But right now, we're talking about not leaving his money on the table. So let's segue into that for a moment.
In the vein of money mindset and different things that you can do with money, I want us to talk about our particular journey and our relationship with money as we were building Made to Maximize. So any tidbits or things you want to share of examples that, things and experiences that we've learned along the way?
I would say one of the first things that helped us in our money mindset is not needing to have a reputation. Why do I say that? A lot of times people like to say, oh, I make this, I do this, I'm here, I'm there. And you bolster your testimony without really having something to lean on, right? But for us, we've always been in the spot of, hey, teach me, show me. I need a coach. I need a consultant. I need somebody to kind of guide me along the way. So I think humbleness has added an opportunity for us to get in rooms that most places you can't buy, right? Like I've personally been invited to some penthouse suites and some private rooms and all these meetings and all this type of stuff with people with billions of dollars in one room because like, hey man, I see you all the time and I just wanted to invite you to this. And I'm like, oh, cool. Who are you? And I'm literally at a grocery store. I'm at Publix in Florida in Lake Mary. And this guy,
Publix.
Huh?
I miss Publix.
Oh yeah, I'll be there next week. And somebody stops me that I've known for years and they're like, hey, just so you know, I'm like ultra rich. I'm like, why are you telling me this in the produce aisle? Like what out of all places? And then goes into showing accounts and doing this and doing that. And now I've been working alongside them for years, but they knew that they could trust us with that access, right? So that's one area. But then the other area is being willing to invest. It's one thing that you can get through service or you can get through connection or you can get through, being of good character. But some stuff does take money. So sometimes you got to take your money off the table and put it on somebody else's table to get a seat at the table.
Absolutely.
Now, I'll table that for another time. But with that, you like that? You like that? Yeah. But with that, it's like, hey, we had to invest in coaching. And the first time we did, we were shaking in our, I wasn't shaking.
It was me always shaking.
I'm
every
like,
single time.
Nah, hold
Not
on
anymore.
Now. If that's what it takes, I got some more money. You can be shaking again. Hey,
tell me. Business podcast, not a marriage podcast.
Yes. But yeah, it was $1,000, and you had a fit.
$9.97. It was a lot at the time for me.
Yeah. Your relationship with money has definitely matured. But just thinking about this is like that was worth it. And if you think of how many times that has multiplied since then, and then you go to 10,000 or whatever the next level was, and how many times that has multiplied, I want you to kind of like lean into what was the difference between you having $1,000 situation to a $10,000 situation to $100,000 situation on and on. Like what changed for you?
Yeah, I think that when we originally started Made to Maximize, it started with a seed and a coaching program on how to have a marketing agency. And it was never my dream, never my desire, but I knew that I had the availability to do it while Jerred was maximizing his income potential in a sales position, which was unlimited, and mine was limited. I still remember the number of my salary at the
Go
time,
ahead, tell
but it was $31,750 as a social worker. And Jerred was like, just do the program. And I was like, no, it didn't make sense at the time. But we went out on faith and we did it. It was a big step for me because I had never personally made that investment into myself before at that level. And I think that that's a part of my money journey. And a lot of people are in that space where it's like, but I've never invested that much money into myself. I may have bought a gift for somebody. I may have had a trip, but investing into my growth, for whatever reason, we find it easier to spend money in entertainment or food or things that don't give you a return. But when it's time to do something that will give you a return, you have a problem with actually sowing the seed and making the investment. It doesn't make logical sense, financial sense either. Nonetheless, I did it. And I think that broke the ability of realizing that, okay, if I invest into my learning, my education, into something that's practical and can multiply it back to me, this is good. And we did it and we multiplied. And I was like, oh, there's something to this. So we ended up being in other coaching programs, and one coaching program was $10,000, and I was shaking in my boots again. But it was like, hey, we knew it worked the first time.
Right.
And if God could do it the first time, he could do it again. It's just a principle of multiplication. Whatever you sow, you will receive back multiplied. Pressed down, shaking together, and running over is what they say in Luke 6:38.
All right, Bible study.
I will say this, that it took a lot for me to get to a place of saying that I'm okay to release it, because naturally my relationship with money was spend money for enjoyment. Spend money for pleasure, spend money on food, on clothes, to look better, to feel better in some capacity, but not to potentially make more money. And it took a lot of faith to sow that type of money, or I keep saying sowing, but really that's what it was. But it took a lot of faith to give that kind of money and to be in agreement with my husband, because naturally he has the gift of faith. And so he's like, yeah, nope, no problem. We'll make that in no time. And I'm like, define no time.
Hey, you seen it though.
Because,
let's talk about it.
And sometimes it took time, but it always worked out every single time. And I believe it was in our second year of business that we reached 6 figures. And I realized, I was looking at some statistics. I believe they say like 18% of businesses actually make 6 figures or more in the world. That's not a thing. And this had become our norm very quickly as we started to sow and be in other environments where they knew how to take the money off the table, if you will, and put it on someone else's table and say, I believe that it's going to come back to me. So,
yeah. And it's been a beautiful time with this. I definitely think that we're going to have to spill more of the beans at another time. Yes. But it's been an absolute pleasure sharing with you all. And as we move forward to more episodes, stay tuned for some amazing stories, testimonies, and we're going to talk about these numbers, because we went from 1,000 to 10,000 to hundreds of thousands. And that's not only what came in years, that came in days. So we'll talk about that in another phase. But in the meantime, peace and love.
Love and peace. Join us again for the next episode. Make sure you subscribe.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.